What up, y'all? Sorry, I'm a little tardy. You know what I mean? Mario calling. Good Lord, sir. Come on now. You know I wasn't going to miss the show. You know I wasn't going to miss the show. You know what I mean? I know you see I'm live, Rio. You can hang up now. There you go. How y'all doing? 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 You know what I mean? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What a day, y'all. What a day. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm speechless. Y'all see I'm hot, right? I'm already sweating. Y'all see I'm hot. It's hot in the room. The lights is going. The fan is on. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was looking wild scruffy. I needed a haircut. You feel me? So I said, let me go ahead and cut this hair real quick before we go ahead and start the show. Wow. Let me just I gotta hear my song one more time. Just a little bit. Let me see. YouTube wildin'. If it's buffering for y'all, you know what I mean? Dang, Jason, can I start the show for real? Jason saying answer the phone. The show ain't even really started for real. All right, Jason. Hold on. Good Lord. I ain't even, you know what I mean? I ain't even get to say my own piece yet, Jason. I ain't even get to say my own 2 cents yet. I ain't even get to, you know what I mean, stretch out on the topic for a second. But that's all right, Jason. Either save the best trade for last or get it out of the way first. Jason, the phone lines is back open, man. Go on, give me a call if you want to call in. You feel me? The phone lines is back open. Go on, give me a call if you want to call in. I didn't get a chance to get it together myself and, you know what I mean, stretch out on the topic. But come on now, Jason. There he is. How you doing? You on Hawks Hoops?
Man, nobody want to hear that Philadelphia song. All right? Nobody wants to hear that. I didn't get a chance to say my 2-piece yet. I didn't even get a chance to say my 2-piece.
I didn't even get a chance to say my 2 cents. Mario call. I'm 2 minutes late. Mario calling me. You know what I mean?
You late. Yeah,
hey man,
what kind of stuff is this?
Listen now. I wasn't trying to be late. Man. I was looking crazy. I had to get this hair cut off.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You got a bomb. You got a bomb.
You know what I mean?
Congratulations. He gonna leave you high and dry.
Nah, he ain't. He ain't.
That's all I wanted to do is call in, just bug you enough to say congratulations. Poor KD, this sucks.
It suck.
I mean, you know, just like what I told you yesterday, Ben, some picks.
And that's what it took.
We got the big penguin, and that's that. So we'll see if he re-signs with y'all. I doubt he will.
It don't matter.
But
it ain't gonna matter once we got a chip. I'm talking crazy this stream. I'm letting y'all know now. I'm talking crazy all stream.
Yeah, you are talking crazy because you ain't winning no chip. You know that already. You need to stop this right now. You need to stop this, man. This is gonna be Doc. Oh, so this is Doc Rivers' Celtics again? Is that what you're saying?
Hey man, hey.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't like Doc as a coach, but they got a chip in 08. So if that's what it's gonna be this season, I'll be okay with Doc for one more year.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get off this show right now and let you enjoy your high moment.
All right, man.
Yes, go ahead. Congratulations.
Woo!
Congratulations. Goodbye.
All right, y'all. We gonna go ahead and get right into it. Appreciate you, Jason, for calling in. Know what I mean, woo, y'all. Let me just read the trade. Let me just go ahead and read it. Put everything out there. If you missed some of the pieces of the trade, if you don't know by now, you should know. James Harden is a Philadelphia 76er. Ben Simmons is going to Brooklyn. Oh, hold on. Who calling in again? All right, they hung up. All right, so real quick. Brooklyn got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, 2022 first-round pick. That's this year's pick, unprotected. Everybody's talking about how we got fleeced with these picks. No one cares about this year's pick. Sixers are going to be a good team. They're a team that's fighting for a championship contention. They don't care about this pick. No one cares about this pick. 2022 first-round pick for this season, unprotected. The 2027 first-round pick, now that is protected. That's a couple years from now, 5 years from now. And I looked at the protection. It's still really not that bad. If the Sixers, for some reason, are absolutely garbage in 2027, that pick is 1 to 7 protected, meaning we will retain that pick if we have the 1 to 7 pick, and it'll go to 2028. If we're still trash in 2028, it's 1 to 8 protected. So if we're in the 1 to 8, we keep it, and then after that, they just get 2 seconds in 2029. So we ain't really get fleeced on these picks. Daryl Morey, I have no faith in you. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I had no faith in you whatsoever that this trade would happen during the season. I'll eat that. I'll eat that. I ain't think this trade was gonna happen during the season. Daryl Morey, you surprised me. Let me get my where my music at? You know what I mean? I need some vibes. There we go. I ain't have no faith in Daryl, but he pulled it off, right? The Sixers receive James Harden and apparently Paul Millsap. I didn't even realize we got Paul Millsap till like an hour or two later, but according to NBA.com, Paul Millsap was also part of this trade. I don't really care about him. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like I think he'll be usable. I think he might get a little bit of PT, whatever. But is Paul Millsap injured? Paul Millsap's not a person I've been keeping track of. I'm gonna keep it a bean. But that's the trade, right? Super 23 kicks. I personally think the Nets win the trade. Okay. Blueberry, Seth, and Drummond for the Nets is pretty good too. I agree. Now let me get this out the way. Realistically, I don't think there's a winner or a loser to this trade. I think both teams benefited a lot. I think both teams came out better from this trade. I don't think there's a winner. I don't think there's a loser. I think what you're going to see is on the internet over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks, is that whoever that person is more of a fan of. So if you're a Nets fan, you're going to say Brooklyn won. If you're a Philly fan, you're going to say Philly won. If you just an NBA fan, you might say whichever team you like a little bit more, you're going to say that team won. If you ask me, both teams came out on top here, right? Now, Philly ain't come out scot-free. I'm happy we got James Harden. I told y'all in literally yesterday's stream, I got YouTube shorts and TikToks up saying it. Personally, I wanted Damian Lillard. I thought the move was going to be for Damian Lillard, especially because with the CJ move, it felt like they were blowing it up. I just thought Damian Lillard was about to come into Philly. I wanted him a little bit more, but it's cool because James Harden also locked in for next season. A part of the trade, he took his player option. He took his $48 million for next year. So he's going to be here moving forward. Jason's my man. He's saying Philadelphia won. Like I said, it's okay to think that. I don't know if there's any winners or losers here, and this is why, right? Well, let me rephrase that. If Brooklyn keeps playing like how they have been playing with, Kyrie in and out of the lineup, the rest of the team not necessarily holding their weight, and you still don't know what Ben Simmons is going to be doing, what Ben Simmons is going to look like, because even Philly fans, if Ben Simmons came back, we weren't sure what Ben Simmons was going to be like. So if you leaning towards Philly won because Simmons wasn't going to play for them ever again. I get that's one way to look at it too, Serge. Thank you for pulling up to the stream, my man. So from Philly's standpoint, I said this before. Whatever we traded for, Ben Simmons was going to be a plus because we ain't had Ben Simmons all season and we still been playing really well. I'm personally going to miss Seth Curry a little bit. I just as a player, I thought he would add some good depth, this, that, and the third. But in terms of just swapping Seth for James Harden, obviously no brainer. Even with James Harden having a down year compared to his standards, he's been playing better the last couple of months. But even with him having a down year to his standards, he's obviously a better player than Seth Curry is, right? From the Sixers standpoint, I really wish we was able to keep Andre Drummond. We got to figure something out in terms of a big. We need a big. Just straight up. We need a backup big. Andre Drummond was an amazing backup big. He's probably going to start a lot of games for the Nets at the center position, depending on who they're playing. They might run Aldridge starting at the 5. They might run Drummond starting at the 5, right? Now, for the Nets, James Harden ain't want to be there. And that's what was so wild to me about all of this is the fact that, I mean, yeah, technically James said, Woj was saying James didn't want to publicly, legit, officially ask for a trade. But everybody knew he wanted out of there. Everybody knew he wanted a trade. The writing was on the wall. He didn't want to be there. Why? I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with their, obvious slow start as a team. I think he wasn't trying to deal with Kyrie being in and out of the lineup because they just had one of Kyrie's good games the other day where Kyrie dropped, was it 30? And at the end of the post-game conference, the reporter asked Harden, like, how does it feel to have, Kyrie back? Is, you happy to have him back? Is you happy to have him play here? And Harden was basically like, I mean, that's what he does. I would love to have him for every game, And I just don't think he was here for the back and forth, the yada yada. Because one thing that points to that James Harden didn't want to be there, he didn't sign the extension with the Nets. He wasn't signing that extension when he was still on the Brooklyn Nets, but he signed it soon as he got up and got traded to the Sixers. So he didn't want to be there, right? We'll talk about the breakdown of what that offense looks like for the Sixers in a second. For the Brooklyn Nets, Rapson4 says, Nets, hey, what's good, man? I ain't seen you. How you doing? That's hilarious. I'm happy I actually said your name right, Rapson4 this time, because Rapson7, because last time you put up to the stream, I was Rapson, I think I called you. I was all off. But Rapson4 says, Nets getting Seth Curry is a win. They have Mills and Curry, both shooting over 40%. Now, from the Nets standpoint, they needed Andre Drummond. I see why they wanted him. They needed some interior presence. They needed an actual center. I love LaMarcus Aldridge. I think he's playing great for them this season so far, but he ain't no center. Like, I mean, he's a small ball center, but he's old. He's not really a great defensive player. Drummond isn't great on defense in terms of mobility, switchability, pick and roll, stuff like that, but he's a good he's a solid paint defender, a great rebounder. Drummond's going to fit in well for that team. All he's going to have to do is catch the ball underneath the basket and dunk it, right? Seth, like Rapson7 said, Seth Curry is going to be good for that team, be able to help them stretch the floor a lot, be a good shooter, be someone who, honestly, I'd see Seth Curry doing a lot of second unit stuff, playing a lot potentially with the second unit, being able to give them some more shot creation off the ball with the second unit, especially in games when Kyrie isn't playing, like home games. Brooklyn, y'all made out well. Y'all biggest question for Brooklyn is going to be the same question Philly was asking ourselves for months. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Y'all, the question that the Brooklyn fans are now going to have is going to be the same question that the Philly fans have had for the last 3 years. Does Ben Simmons have a jump shot yet? Because, hey, I get it. Y'all got Kevin Durant. Y'all got Kyrie for home games. 2 amazing players. Ben Simmons is going to bring a lot of amazing defense to that team. But depending on how aggressive he is on the offensive side of the court, depending on how Steve Nash uses him on the offensive side of the court, y'all might see some of the frustrations that Philly fans been seeing for the last couple of years. Because it's real frustrating when you got a man wide open. It only got to be a 3. But when you got a man wide open at a short corner and he not even taking that shot and passing it, that's going to get frustrating real fast for our Brooklyn fans. For Ben Simmons, right? I'm talking about his shooting, obviously. Hot button topic. My man, we ain't seen you play in a year. If you don't got any semblance of an attempt at a jump shot, you don't want to ball, bro. And that's okay. You don't want to be great. That's fine. You just want to do your job. You want to collect a check. There's plenty of people in the world who don't show up to work wanting to be the best at their job. There's plenty of people in the world who just show up to collect a check. Ben, if that's you, that's you. Not even if. Ben, that is you. Because if you wanted to be great, you wouldn't have sat out all year for the Sixers. Blueberry asked, do I think Ben Simmons will play for Brooklyn? Yeah. Ben Simmons will play for Brooklyn. I don't think we'll see him for at least 2 weeks, though. It's already been reported. Ramona Shelburne put out a tweet earlier today. She's a reporter for ESPN. That Ben Simmons has been in contact with Kevin Durant. Ben Simmons has been in contact with the Brooklyn organization. And he does need some time to ramp up. That was the phrasing, ramp up. My immediate response to that was, bro, you ain't been playing for months. I don't know how you not in shape. I get there's a difference between getting in game shape versus getting in, practice and whatever. But they're talking like it might be 2-3 weeks before we see him. You shouldn't have to take 2-3 weeks to get ready to play. I would expect to see Ben Simmons like next week, but that's not what we're seeing. At least so far. Let's see what we calling in. Thank you for calling Hawks Hoops. Who I'm talking to?
You shouldn't have to take 2-3 weeks to
Yo, it is John the Ninja. How you doing, Hawk?
What's good, John? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was infuriated when I heard about this news today. As a fan of both teams, you know me.
Well, yeah, you are a fan
I live
of both.
in Philly, but my heart belongs to the Nets. I'm sick of these bums. I came in with some passionate fire. I knew you were doing this live, but now I've calmed down. I've listened to your assessments. So I got to ask you some real basketball IQ questions because I'm lost on myself, man, because I don't know what we're going to do. You know my disdain for Harden when he came to the Nets. You know my absolute hate for Ben Simmons not playing. So as a Nets fan, here's my question. Should I bite the bullet and pray to God he does play with us? Because honestly, as you were just saying, you know, I don't think he's in shape either. Homie said, I heard a rumor, homie said, give me 2 weeks to get in shape. As an ex-D3 athlete, as somebody who did not take his sport seriously.
Go ahead and flex on an D3 athlete.
Listen, as someone who did not take his sport seriously but did it because of a commitment I made, I can tell you firsthand that is no easy task. So for him to say I'm at the elite of the elite and I'm going to be here ready in 2 weeks, I don't believe that. And I'm aggravated. Help me, Hall.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, right? He's going to be back in about 2.5 weeks. He's not going to look like Ben Simmons probably for like 3 weeks. He might look out of shape for a little bit. I'd be surprised if he looks wild out of shape because Ben Simmons is dumb athletic. Like, Sixers hate aside, Ben Simmons is stupid athletic. So he should be straight coming into the season. But, I mean, coming back to Brooklyn whenever he decides to come back and play for y'all. He should be straight. He's just going to need some time, apparently.
Bro, I'm not feeling it. I'm telling you, as a fan of basketball and life, I feel the adrenaline. It's running through me out of anger and frustration. Every time I see both teams make a move, and I'm not going to say the whole trade was bad, okay? We got Curry. I was more than happy about that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
Harden
a good pickup
Philly,
for y'all.
that's a great asset. Great movement. But I'm like, damn, really? Could we just got them without Ben? I don't want to deal with these non-wanted-to-win players. I don't even care if we're going to lose the whole time. You know I hated the process idea. Y'all lucky as hell it worked out. All right? I remember I was in high school. We're going to lose to win.
Yeah, you wasn't a fan of the process, but it's got us here. We'll see what it is. We'll see how far it actually takes us, but you know what I mean?
So realistically, here are my two last questions because I'm furious. I'm going to go cuss out my dog because, you know, he's having a good time in Philly calling me about the Sixers and whatnot. I know it's a family-friendly show, so I'm restraining myself. But here's my thing. What are the chances of us getting rid of Ben with
0.
or without him playing ASAP? Oh, well, screw it. Then
Chances
of
getting rid of
now?
Ben? You ain't getting rid of Ben. He's on y'all team for the rest of at least this season.
Damn. Sorry. All right, so realistically, what are my team's chances of getting our chip? Y'all talking about y'all chip. I don't believe it's happening. No offense to the Sixers, but it's Harden. It's going to be Harden. Mark my words, everyone listening. It's going to be Harden, all right? And it's going to be management because I'm not saying we. Y'all had Jimmy Butler. Y'all had the pieces to the puzzles, and every time someone makes a stupid move, they don't know what they're doing in the management. I love Philadelphia, but management just be messing it up. And
well, you know what I mean? We got new management now. The Jimmy Butler mess was Elton Brand. You know what I mean? I was a fan of a black man getting a job, but he fumbled that bag a little bit. Now we got Daryl Morey. I don't see us making the same mistakes we made with Jimmy Butler.
Oh man, I'm heated. What are my team's chances of winning my chip?
I mean, y'all still contenders.
That's all I
Let's keep it a bean, right? All realistically, you obviously still have Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the league, my favorite player in the NBA right now, an absolute bucket. You have Kyrie for home games. You know what I mean? Now, it's rumors and talks that New York might change their rules. He may mess around and get the shot. Who knows? You at least got him for home games if Brooklyn decides to start paying fines to allow him to play. Kyrie's an elite guard. Ben Simmons, right? I've gone on record saying this before. As much as I've been mad at him for not playing all season, he is still a great player. He's the All-NBA defender. He's a defensive player of the year candidate every season. So y'all chances are going to be good, but a lot of the weight is still going to fall on that big three now. A lot of weight is going to fall on that big three because your depth is still lacking a little bit. I think the addition of Seth Curry, Drummond adds to your depth some, but you're still not a very, very deep team. But y'all do have legitimate chances. The Brooklyn Nets in my opinion, are still title contenders.
You can't see my face of frustration and anger. The only thing I'm praying for is for Curry to come in and say, "This is my opportunity. Let me shoot the lights out. Let me put the smack down."
Oh,
because,
boy.
bro, I'm telling you,
He ain't gonna do that.
Even with Ben saying he'll get in shape, even as great as a defender and athletic he is, again, don't see him getting in shape. So there goes his defense. He like me. He liked to be the Jason Kidd. He liked to pass. He liked to get the highlights and the assists. And even then, I feel like if anybody's going to be playing the way we need him to play, it's not going to be that way in Brooklyn for him. So I don't know. I'm a peace out. Thank you for your wisdom, because I know everyone was listening to me and saying this man knows nothing about basketball nowadays. But, man, am I pissed off. This is aggravating, man. I don't know. This better be a good season for the rest of it. But, Hawk, thank you for your wisdom, man.
Thanks for calling in, bro.
You're keeping me on the up and down.
Appreciate you. All right, let me look at these comments real quick. My boy KL, right? What's good? Thank you for pulling up to the chat, KO. Hey, Kev, what's good, bro? How you doing? KO says he can just play like Draymond. Just play defense, and Brooklyn will be fine. Now, that is the absolute perfect scenario, right? And that's what I wanted to get into. For Ben Simmons, be Draymond Green. Play amazing defense. Play real switchable defense. Ben Simmons should be able to give this Brooklyn Nets team a lot of versatility on the defensive end. Give them the opportunity to literally have him guard anybody from the point guard to the power forward and even some centers. I ain't guarding every center, but some centers. He could be great for this team, right? They obviously need defense. Brooklyn's defense is trash. In my opinion, they also need somebody to distribute the ball to get other people involved. He can do that. He can literally be what James Harden is for Seth Curry. For Steph Curry. Let me rephrase that. Ben Simmons can literally do what Draymond Green does for the Warriors. Run the offense. Now the big difference is it's not so much now. His shot hasn't fallen as much. Talking about Draymond's, but defense is still no. Draymond still might shoot that. You know what I mean? Like that's still something that defenses have to think about. Draymond still might shoot that. At least if it's a corner three, he might let that fly. So the defender's at least thinking about him over there. Far as we know still, Ben Simmons ain't going to shoot that. So he's going to have to move a lot more and be more mobile off ball when the ball's not in his hands. He can't just stand in the corner. Steve Nash is going to have to be able to coach to make this work. Because like I said, I love Ben Simmons. I think him, KD, Kyrie, I think it's a legit big three. Like for real. I do think it's a legit big three. But there's lacking a lot of depth around that team, and they gotta tweak a couple of things just a little bit. Kev says came to the show to show love. Plus, I'm hype about this Harden news. Hey man, I appreciate you for pulling up. I'm also hype about the news. I'm excited now. Looking back at the Sixers, I already said I'm going to miss Drummond for real. We need to figure out what type of backup center we gonna pick up. I'm hearing news that Enes Kanter is going to be bought out by the Rockets. Hey, I don't love Kanter, but he can come in and rebound for 10 minutes a game, make a couple of layups, and go sit back down on the bench. If we pick up Kanter, I would absolutely love that. Let's see who's calling in. Thank you for calling Hawks Hoops. Who am I talking to?
Yo, what's up, Hawk? It's real. How you doing, my guy?
How you doing, bro?
Not much. This Harden, this Nets, this trade deadline has been very interesting. I'll say that.
Listen, first off, I hate when trade deadlines, they wait to the last minute, bro. Why we wait until an hour before it's over to do all of this?
Because it's like, yeah, there's stuff you got to talk about. Like, you know, me, I'm a KP fan. Prayers in God. We got to talk about that.
Oh, he on the, we can go there. He on the notes. We can go there.
I know, cause KP is my guy. But first of all, this Harden news. Like you said, the trade is pretty even. But I will say the trade is good. But the disadvantage the Nets have is they have Steve Nash as the coach. I'm sorry, Steve Nash is doo-doo.
Yeah.
Steve Nash is doo-doo. Steve Nash can't coach, and I feel like this is a team now that needs to be coached. They need to be able to run sets, especially with Ben Simmons being Ben Simmons. unless if you don't know how to run sets on the floor, he's going to be a complete liability on the offense, and it's going to cause the offense to struggle because you're playing 4-on-5.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of pressure is going to be on Steve Nash to be able to actually coach basketball. A lot of people have not been loving the schemes he's been running. Not a lot of people respect him as a coach so far in his career. He has the opportunity to prove that he can coach and he is a good coach, or people going to start to say, yeah, you ain't it, bro.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, this team is built because I liked what they did, what the Nets did in this trade, which is surrounding. You already got Patty Mills. Getting Seth Curry was a huge upgrade because you're surrounding Ben with shooters.
Yeah,
and that's what you need. You need Ben to be surrounded by shooters. You also got that bum they call Joe Harris who forgot how to shoot the ball since the playoffs. But that's a different story for another time. So this team is they're setting up this team for KD just like how he was in the Warriors. That's basically what it is. You got Kyrie, who, Kyrie is a dog. He can go for drop 50 whenever he's ready. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Whenever he's playing.
KD, whenever he's playing. And you got KD, who is instant noodles. I mean, instant offense. Like 60-second race. That man can turn on anytime he wants. And then you got, like you said, you got the role players like Patty Mills and everybody else who can shoot. And you got the grit and grind players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think more than anything, I think Ben will fit in this offense. I think more than anything, Ben is not the problem. I really do think it's Steve Nash, if we're being totally honest.
Well, I don't think you're wrong because as you were listing off the players, outside of KD and Kyrie and Ben sometimes, all those other guys, they're great role players. They're great guys, but they need to be coached. They need to have a system. They need to know what to do. They're not shot creators.
Exactly. They're really not shot creators. And that's like, I mean, Steph and Patty, they can get their own shot. But at the same time, they still do need to, like, come off screens or whatever. But like you said, they definitely need to be coached. Because I still think, if we're being totally honest, on paper, this trade, honestly, has made Brooklyn better in the sense of they got more shooting and they got defense that they desperately needed.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely got the defense they needed, and they got Seth, who can stretch the floor, yeah.
So I think, if we're being totally honest, I still think that Brooklyn is the better team because I think they got what they needed for Giannis because you can put Ben on Giannis. I mean, that's going to be a good matchup because if you have Ben on Giannis, now KD is free, probably guarding Chris Middleton, save his energy and stuff like that. And then you can have KD down the stretch. So I think this team is matched up very well against that Bucks team because of that. So I think this trade, crazy might sound, if everything works out as supposed to be, they might be the favorites again to be the champions this season, if we're being totally honest.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then like I said, the rest of the trade deadline, man, my guy, Poison God, I'm happy. Because Luka's starting to become like LeBron in the sense of he needs the ball in his hands all the time, so he's got to build a team around him.
Yeah.
Just like how LeBron built his team. And Porzingis, he doesn't fit that type of basketball.
It's unfortunate that he doesn't fit because I think on paper a lot of people thought KP and Luka should have been able to play together. But just watching them over the course of this season and a little bit of last year, it just doesn't seem like it's a good fit. It doesn't seem like it's really working for him.
It doesn't because I think if we're being honest, the way that Chris Thompson is so excited about it, you could tell that he thought that they would have played well together too. Because I remember when the news first happened, it was like, yo, he wanted to go, he was excited to go. But same thing, I think that's going to be the same issue. If we're being totally honest, that Luka and KP issue can also turn into that same with James and Joel. If we're being totally honest, because KP needs the ball on the block.
Okay.
And he can play the ball. KP Loki needs the ball in his hands, like on his mid range. He needs to be able to set up his midi because he can hit the post turnaround, the fade. He can hit the midi jump shots. He needs the ball in his hands because he's also in the Knicks. He was a volume shooter. He was getting touches, and playing with Luka, you don't really get touches unless it's time for you to shoot.
Yeah. I mean,
If
yeah.
you look at it, yeah, I remember when Luka was out, and when Luka was out, KP had like back-to-back 30-point games. I don't remember if it was this season or last season, but like you said, he needs his touches. And the same thing with James Harden and Joel. James is the type of, like, the centers he's played with, it's always been, dribble, pick and roll, dive, so forth. James needs the ball in his hands to set up the offense. And I think it's definitely going to be interesting how this works out. But I think he can, because like I said, Joel needs the ball as well, just as much as James does. And if we're looking at it, James is not the greatest spot-up shooter that you come across, and they lost Seth. So, I mean, they still got your boy. He's only 23. But we're going to see how that turns out.
I think it'll work out.
Yeah, I think it will. But like I said, I'm intrigued. I mean, like I said, last night I was like, bro, just trade. I'm just trying to see people play ball. And we got it. So we're going to see how this turns out.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, all seriousness, I wanted to see Simmons back playing basketball, right? I just wanted to see him hoop. I wanted to see him ball. I wanted to see him back out on the court. I like watching him play. So, as a just general NBA fan, I am happy the fact that I'll see him play again.
Yeah, like I said, that's all. I feel it. That's all I wanted. So it's gonna be real nice. Basketball is about to start after All-Star break, so yeah, I'm ready. Now it's time to watch basketball. I'm here for it.
I feel you, man.
March 10th, let's go.
March 10th. Thanks for calling, Rio.
All right, you take care.
Later. Yeah, man. So, what was I talking about? Ben Simmons playing the Draymond role. We talked about that. I wanted to talk about how the James Harden situation would work for the Sixers real quick, right? So Mario brought up a good point. James Harden, as we know, make fun of him all the time. He's a dribble guy. We don't really want to take the ball out of Joel Embiid's hands. He's having an amazing season. I don't want to take the ball out of his hands too much. That being said, in the same breath, I did want someone else to be able to take the ball out of his hands sometimes. He had to do a lot for the Sixers team for them to win games. Like, if Joel wasn't having the season he's having, the Sixers would not be that great. Like, when Joel doesn't play, we definitely have been struggling. And I think, oh, y'all lit today. Thanks for calling Hawks Hoops. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Jimmy.
Jimmy, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good.
A bit crazy out here with the NBA trades.
What'd you say?
I said it's a bit crazy out here with the NBA trades.
It's been a crazy day, man. It's been an absolutely crazy day.
Yeah, I try to wrap my hand around this.
What? Pardon?
I said I try to wrap my head around this.
Yeah, man. What's the how you feeling about the Harden trade? Harden for Simmons.
On both sides, I'm on the Philly side.
Okay, smart man.
But I don't like it for the Nets. That I just don't.
Really?
So I don't like it for the Nets because, like, my opinion is, like, I like Ben Simmons, so, like, what he provides on defense and offense, but it's just like he's not like a guy that you go to, like, a superstar guy. You know what I mean?
I can feel that.
And then KD's out. We don't know when he said it. I don't know when he's gonna return.
Yeah, it's funny. They asked him for an update during the All-Star draft, and he was like, "No, I don't have an update."
Yeah, that's the thing. See, and then Kyrie's part-time player.
Yeah, Kyrie's a part-time player. You don't know when KD's back, but in the same breath, depending on how long it takes KD to get back, depending on how fast Ben Simmons comes in, I think giving the Ben Simmons the opportunity to just play ball without Kevin Durant for like a couple of days, couple of games, just to get back into shape ASAP, because he's gonna have to play a lot if KD's not there. So that'll help him get back into shape sooner, get him used to playing with the rest of the Brooklyn guys, and then slowly have to get acclimated to playing with, someone who has the gravity that KD does.
I agree with you on that. But I just don't feel like how you compete with the top of the East. Because the East is like wide open right now.
Oh, the East is definitely open. I think you obviously got some teams at the top. In my opinion, still it's the Bucks up top at number 1.
Yeah.
And then I gotta show love to the Miami Heat. They're legit in my mind. I don't think a lot of people have them as legitimate title contenders, but the depth that they have, the defense that they play, and then if you got Kevin Durant, you're a title contender. So the Nets are still up there, and then I throw the Sixers in there as well.
True, but it's that one thing. I know this might sound I didn't have this like beginning of the season, but it's like now I'm looking over it. I have it Cats over them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, over the Nets.
I mean, I think I like the Cavs a lot, but I don't know if I'd put them over them only because the Cavs don't have a lot of. If we're talking playoffs, the Cavs don't have a ton of playoff experience. They're a young team, extremely talented young team, but I think some of that playoff experience will come to bite them in the butt.
It could, but you gotta look back on the Hawks though. The Hawks didn't have that much though.
Very true. Very, very true.
True. It is that one thing I just don't like. I just see how the East went up, and then like one example, I know this is not gonna be like a top team, but the Celtics made moves. I like that.
Yeah.
So that's gonna bring them up. It is that one thing is I just feel like because they're on a 9-game losing streak, and I feel like they have a harder schedule. That I feel like they're gonna be a low seed. The Nets.
I mean, they are losing games. We got plenty of basketball left to play in the season. And the kind of good thing on their end is the fact that the Eastern Conference is so competitive. They're a lower seed, but when you look at the records, everybody's really, really close. You win 5 games in a row, and next thing you know, you're a top 3 team.
True.
It's just really, really tight out there in the Eastern Conference right now.
Okay. Wait, what's your opinion on the Lakers though? I had a little bit of drama.
My opinion on the Lakers is I'm not surprised at all they didn't make a trade. In my opinion, they didn't have any assets. The only asset they had was Russell Westbrook, and the only person they could trade Russell Westbrook for was John Wall.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people talking about some THT and picks. No team really wants that, and whatever you got for that in return wasn't going to make that big of an impact. When it comes to the Lakers, it's deeper than just saying, but they just got to figure it out. Like their big three hasn't really had that many games played together. They've been struggling with a lot of injuries, people in and out of the lineup. They just got to figure it out. And if they figure it out, they're going to be good. And if they don't figure it out, they're going to continue to do what they've been doing.
But I feel like people just believe me, Westbrook. I agree with you on what you said earlier about Westbrook is Westbrook still.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone is blaming Russ. I knew when they made that trade for him, if it didn't go right, he was going to be the scapegoat. And when that trade happened, I said I didn't think it was going to work. Russ doesn't fit on that team. There's not enough shooters on that team. There's too many other players that need the ball. Not saying like as a bad thing, but Russ and LeBron just don't work.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like Westbrook should not get the whole blame. Now I'm saying too.
Oh no, he shouldn't. In my opinion, he shouldn't. But it's the internet.
Yeah. So we saw it yesterday when he lost to Portland.
Exactly. They didn't play him all game, and they still lose to one of the worst teams in the NBA, who just traded away, their best player they had available right now, CJ McCollum, and still got cooked by Anthony Simons and company.
Yeah, that both is. No offense to Anthony Simons, but like.
And I like Anthony Simons. He's a nice young up and coming player, but I mean,
yeah, me too.
It's still Anthony Simons. Like the Lakers should have won that game if LeBron and Anthony Davis were playing.
Nah, that's so true. But I feel like for Lakers, it's like one thing is they didn't bring what they needed.
No. Yeah, I don't think they didn't make the right. In my opinion, the Lakers messed up by they had the opportunity to make a lot of trades. They had a lot of players that people would have made moves for when they moved, like Kuzma, Montrez. Like they had players people wanted. They just made the wrong move and the player that they went for.
True. I think it was just on paper. That's it.
Yeah.
And so that I really think it was just on paper. But I feel like the Lakers at one point is like one thing. AD has been in and out a lot of, and no offense to AD, he's not playing the same like he was in 2020.
No, he's not playing like he was in 2020. In my opinion, it might be a hot take, but 2020 to me, in my opinion, was an anomaly. He shot the lights out in the bubble. I mean, honestly, everybody shot lights out in the bubble. He's not that type of shooter.
True. I agree with that. But I just feel like one thing is that was the best year AD we saw.
Yeah.
Because like that was like the best year that we saw him as a big.
Yeah.
And so, because the best big right now is Jokic. We all can say that. That's true, right?
I got Embiid as my best big in the league. I mean, I understand people who pick Jokic. There's definitely an argument to be made both ways, and honestly, it's like splitting hairs. But my pick is Embiid.
I get you now. I get you, man. But I just say like AD not, and I feel like he's not the same.
Yeah, he's not.
So,
yeah.
And I just feel like the role players they have. The only great role player I like that they have, because all the other ones I feel like they'll fit, is Malik Monk. That's it.
Yeah, they got to figure something out, man. I think at this point it's an eternal thing. There have been talks of they're potentially looking toward the buyout market to make their team better, but I mean, there's not really much of value in the buyout market that'll make actual impact. They just got to figure it out. Like it sucks to say. Because there's no real, in my opinion, there's no external solution for the Los Angeles Lakers. Whatever they figure out, they just got to figure out amongst themselves.
It's just like crazy because we just had them like before the season started at champion favorites. We said Lakers and Nets, the finals.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy thing.
Going into the season, that's what everybody thought. That's what I love about the NBA. You know, we have all these talks in the offseason. Teams makes moves. But, you know, until the players lace it up and actually play, anything can happen.
True. Okay, I have one more last question, though.
Uh-huh.
In your opinion, I know we got, like, till the end of March. We got a couple basketball games still. Anything can happen right now. The playoffs are going to happen. We all know anything can happen. But who you got in the finals right now?
Right now?
All these tricks. Yeah.
Honestly, right now, the way they're playing, I got Bucks Suns. As much as I love the Sixers, as much as I love James Harden, just going off of what I'm seeing right now, you feel me? I got Bucks Suns. That could change in a couple weeks, depending on how James Harden looks, depending on how Ben Simmons looks.
Yeah.
But I've had Bucks Suns for the last probably 3 weeks.
I agree with that. I kind of see the same thing here too because like I have the Suns. I love the Warriors. I love Seth Curry, but I have to put the Suns over it.
I feel that.
And I had to put the Bucks still because they still. I like the Bucks had an addiction on Addy Sergey Baka. I like Addy now.
Yeah. That was a huge pickup for them. The Bucks, that's really needed. I think some extra center depth especially with Brook Lopez out. When I saw that they made that trade for Sergey Baka, I was like, okay, the Bucks want to go back to the championship for real.
Yeah, I feel that right there. So, but that's all the questions I have for today.
Well, appreciate you for calling in, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one, okay?
You too. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Hey, the New York sports kid. Of course, I remember you. How you doing, man? Thank you for pulling up to the show. Just John says, "Hey, bro, you seen Embiid's Twitter post? Man, come on now. I got Embiid on notifications. I'm a Sixers fan. I try to keep my Sixers fandom in check when I'm making videos and stuff, but I'm a Sixers fan. I got Embiid on notice, bro. I seen the tweets. Embiid been cracking me up all day. All right. I feel like I talked a lot about this Sixers, Ben Simmons, James Harden. I feel like we all know how I feel by now. I just want to go through real quick, talk about some of the other trades because I feel like everybody was waiting on to see if Ben Simmons and James Harden were to be moved, and then everybody else just started making moves left and right. So let me see. I wish there was I was trying to find a website, somebody who could just put all the trades together for me. I didn't find the cleanest one, but I found a couple of things. We already talked about Kristaps Porzingis going to the Wizards. You know what sucks about that trade? Spencer Dinwiddie for the Mavericks, I think, is actually going to be really good. I think the Mavericks could benefit from another ball handler. I know Luka is Luka. The ball is almost always in his hands, but I think the Mavericks could benefit from somebody else that Luka could play off of and give the ball to, that can create for others. I think that's going to be really good for the Mavericks. And when you look at the Mavericks record when it was Kristaps and Luka versus just Luka in the times that they were there when Kristaps was injured, it's basically the same record. I mean, I love Kristaps, but he wasn't having a crazy impact on the Mavericks. If Bradley Beal didn't get his surgery, I would actually be really excited for Kristaps going to the Wizards. With Bradley Beal being out, I mean, it'll look great next year. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Wizards next year. But this season, I mean, Porzingis will probably put up some really solid numbers. He'll be fun to watch at times, but it's not making no immediate impact on the Wizards to me. Daniel Theis is going back to the Celtics for Dennis Schroeder, and apparently Dennis Schroeder is likely to be bought out. And now I'm hearing with the buyout that the Lakers might pick up Dennis Schroeder, which would be the wildest case of you should have just signed there in the first place and you actually would have been making a lot of money. Talked about the Bucks picking up. His name is losing my mind. I'm just seeing Enes Kanter's face. Sergey Baka. The Bucks picked up Sergey Baka. I think that's really, really big for them. We just talked about it on the call, but that's huge for them, mainly because they needed centers. They needed some centers. They needed some interior presence. Sergey Baka isn't the Sergey Baka he was back when he was playing for the Thunder, or even back in his Magic days, or even back in his Raptors days. But he's still a really solid big man. He's a solid player. He can knock down a couple threes here and there, help stretch the floor a little bit. I'm not saying he's a sniper, but he can hit a couple. Really good pickup for the Bucks. The Portland Trailblazers made no sense to me. They pick up Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the trade, but then they send him to the Jazz and pick up dude that just tore his ACL. Names are all over. My names are just floating around in my head right now. They picked up. Did they not? Joe Ingles. Thank you. Now, mind you, Joe Ingles is the season. He's out for the rest of the season due to injury. He's going to be out probably going into next season because his injury is an ACL tear. Hey, Portland, y'all playing these games. Damian Lillard has continued to say he wants to be there. Everyone on the internet is telling him to run, and y'all not making any smart moves. Y'all just picked up a player who Dame not going to play with the rest of this season or half of next season. Y'all going to mess around and lose Damian Lillard. I think we talked about Karis LeVert already going to Karis LeVert going to the Cavs. Let me just pull up Woj's Twitter. You know what I mean? Just real quick. Make sure I touch on everything real quick. I mainly just wanted to hop in here and talk about this Harden Sixer stuff. Y'all see the title. Y'all see the title. All right. You know what? Y'all gonna scroll with me real quick. You know what I mean? Boom. Boom. Let's just take a look down Woj's timeline. Make sure we covered all the trades. Just for the sake of it, real quick. And then I want to talk about All-Star draft, and then we're out of here. That's the Ben Simmons. The Raptors waving Drew. Yeah, this is the Dennis Schroeder signing, the trade I was talking about. Enes Kanter's getting bought out. No deals for the Lakers. They're going to focus in the buyout market. I already said that makes zero sense to me. Absolutely none. This also means the buyout market is going to be Dennis Schroeder. So Dennis Schroeder is going to be a Laker again. Bertans to the Wizards. Excuse me. Bertans to the Mavericks I thought was pretty solid. And then I want to say the Mavericks either waived him or kept him. This is what I wanted to talk about. So Charlotte is picking up Montrezl Harrell for Vernon Carey and Ish Smith. I think that's really good for them. Charlotte Hornets, they needed a center. I've been saying the Charlotte Hornets need a better center for a while. One of John Tortelli. I might be mispronouncing his name wrong. He also creates content on TikTok and he has a YouTube channel. He proposed a trade for PJ Washington for Rashawn Holmes. Between the Kings and the Charlotte Hornets. That didn't go through, but the Hornets desperately needed a center, in my opinion. So the Hornets picking up Montrezl Harrell, I like that a lot. He's not a huge center, but he's gritty. He'll do the small stuff. He'll, battle in the paint. I like that for them a lot. I really, really do. Pacers sending Torrey Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith. Pacers, hey, y'all surprised me. Y'all were able to rebuild, go younger, but keep a lot of talent and potentially be, at least in the play-in, low playoff seed conversations moving forward. Celtics picking up Derek White. I thought that was pretty good as well. Great defender for the Celtics. And I think that covers pretty much everything. Mario says Ben Simmons playing tomorrow against the Heat. Is that confirmed, or is that you just saying that, or did somebody tweet that? Because the last I heard, like I was saying earlier, he wasn't playing or not going to be playing for at least a week or two. If he played tomorrow against the Heat, hey, okay, so you just messing with me. If he played tomorrow against the Heat, I'm telling you now, Philly gonna riot. And I need Adam Silver to call up Brooklyn and be like, hey, yo, we got to talk to Ben. Because the whole reason Ben was sitting out all season was mental health issues. I'm not trying to downplay mental health. It is a legit serious thing. You know what I mean? But if you just going to, say mental health, it was tweeted by who? Who? Who tweeted Ben Simmons Heat? Seeing tweets that Ben Simmons will join the Nets on the road trip in Miami tomorrow. He claimed mental illness was his reason for not playing, yet miraculously has been cured the minute he is traded. What a middle finger to those who actually battle with mental health. Who is David? Because I don't be believing everybody with a blue check. Content creator, writer. Okay, so he used to work in Philly. Let me see. All I'm seeing is that one guy. I'm telling you, he better not be playing. Ben Simmons will join the Nets on their road trip tomorrow in Miami via Scoop B. That's Hoop Central. Reporter, host, and analyst. Hey. Listen, now it's just saying he's going to join the Nets tomorrow on their road trip. It's plenty of times when players travel with teams but don't play. Man, he better just be traveling with the team and not actually playing. If anything, that's what I expect him to happen. I don't think he'll actually be playing. I just think he'll be traveling with the team. All right, let me just go over. I just want to talk about, because you know how they come. Exactly. Philly going to go crazy if. Wow. All right, real quick, let's talk about these reserves real quick. I didn't expect to be live for an hour. Appreciate everybody who put up to the stream, called in, hopped in the chat, left a like, you know what I mean? Appreciate y'all. We know Team LeBron. Can I just say this? I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I wanted to watch the draft for the All-Star picks before the show tonight because I knew I wanted to talk about. And he said, check your blood pressure, King. I know I wanted to talk about the reserve, so I made sure to actually watch the whole thing because I wanted to see Kevin Durant's reactions to picking his team. Because by the time they actually do the, from what my understanding, by the time they actually do the trades, by the time they actually do the draft, it's well after the trade deadline. So Kevin Durant saw James Harden get traded. He obviously knows James Harden is no longer on his team. And I wanted to see how they were going to handle that. Kenny, Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, they had jokes. They had a lot of jokes. They were making fun of the fact, basically the obvious awkward situation that Kevin Durant probably was no longer going to draft James Harden. And, Kevin Durant handled it well. LeBron was laughing. I was laughing. The guys were laughing. He didn't really say nothing crazy. He didn't pick James Harden, obviously. James Harden actually was the last pick, which I was surprised, but not surprised. But before we go, let's read these lists, and then I'll tell you what I think about the team. So Team LeBron, Giannis, Steph, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron, obviously, and Jokic. And then Jimmy Butler, Luka, Darius Garland, James Harden, Donovan, Chris Paul, and Fred. And then Team Durant, Joel Embiid, John Morant, Jason Tatum, Wiggins, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, Devin Booker, Rudy, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, DeJounte Murray, Karl Anthony Towns. I watched the draft, right? LeBron did pick first, right? But this is like the second or third year that I've thought this since they've started this whole draft thing. Kevin Durant can't draft, bro. Kevin Durant cannot draft. I'm going to tell you right now, on paper, LeBron's team should walk Kevin Durant's team. This ain't no hate to the people that's on Kevin Durant's team. Joel Embiid is on Kevin Durant's team, for crying out loud. John Morant is on Kevin Durant's team. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I got a lot of love for John Morant. I probably voted for John Morant more times to make the All-Star team than I actually voted for Joel Embiid. I got a lot of love for Ja this season. But Kevin Durant's team ain't better than Kevin Durant's team ain't better than LeBron's team. It's just not. I was trying to see if they had just a straight up list, like a side by side. I don't see a side by side, but All-Star Weekend should be interesting. Once again, thank y'all for pulling up to the stream. I'm gonna get up out of here. I got some TikToks to make, some YouTube shorts. NBA is a great place, man. The NBA really is a great place. Because like I said earlier, going into the season, you couldn't tell nobody that the Nets and the Lakers weren't walking to the championship. And then life happens. Thank you for pulling up. This was fun. This nice little emergency emergency live. We might do more of these as news happens, things like that. Especially low key coming closer to the playoffs. I can see us doing this a little bit more, talking about games or talking about upsets, stuff like that. But for now, I'll see you guys on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't left a like, please leave a like. Much appreciated. And if you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Strip clubs and Philly better get ready for the beard. Facts. And on that note, I'm out of here.